Hey, I'm Kaitlyn Humphrey, Miss Tempe USA, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Pageant Project. Welcome to Miss USA season. My special guest for tonight, her time, morning my time, is Kaitlyn Humphrey, who is the current Miss Tempe USA on the road to Miss Arizona USA. I'm just going to get her bio in before she says anything. Now, music has been part of Kaitlyn's life since she was 6 years old, leading her to open for famous artists and even audition for American Idol. Now, as a registered musician with Musicians on Call, she brings the healing power of music to patients across the country. After graduating from Arizona State University with a BA in journalism and mass communication, she jumped into a career as a talk show host before growing a social media community of over 70,000 women through beauty, lifestyle, and motivational content. No matter the environment, Kaitlyn strives to use her talents to show others that their own gifts and dreams are not just worthy, but powerful. Kaitlyn, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Update us with what's happening with life, because you showed me before we went live. It's kind of manic right now.
We already talked about this, but I actually just moved back to Arizona on Saturday night. I landed at like midnight. So I'm currently living out of suitcases. You were telling me that my background looks a little boring, but that's because I'm going to show everybody my suitcases in the corner. I'm such an organized person, so it's killing me to be living out of suitcases, but we have to make do.
I mean that's just normal pageant girl mess in the corner as far as I'm concerned.
Like, this is nothing. We've seen this before.
Now tell me, I think this is how we connected. I shared your story. I don't know where I saw it. I think Instagram recommended it, and I thought it was a really important message about, I mean, they say God's delays are not God's denials, that sort of thing. And I think it's really important that, especially in this day and age, if you get a no, whether it's in pageantry, news reading, or anything else, you don't take it as a permanent thing. It's just a momentary redirection. But tell me more about that story. Tell me what life has been like since then or around then, because you went to Tennessee, I think, Nashville, right?
Yeah.
You thought it was all going to happen?
Yeah, I've been around. I graduated last year from Arizona State University with my journalism degree, and I got my dream job in Nashville as a television host. So I was doing that for a talk show, which was so much fun. And I'm such an organized person, so I was like, perfect. My plan is going perfectly. This is exactly what I wanted to do. I'm going to go out to Nashville. I'm going to be the best little TV broadcaster there ever was. And I'm going to, run off into the sunset and everything's going to be fine. But I moved out to Nashville. I spent a year out there and I loved the job. I did. But Nashville is just not for me. I was born and raised in Colorado. Then I moved to Arizona, and I've lived here for the past 5 years almost. So being that far away from what had always been home just felt really uncomfortable. And I just wasn't loving it. And I was just feeling this pull to come back to Arizona, but I knew in doing that, I was going to have to say goodbye to my news job. So I had to kind of, choose one. You can't have it all. So I did have to close that door, and it's been a really hard thing to do because you spend 4 years of college and then, a whole year doing that job. And building it up and telling everybody, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm doing, and then having to say, hey, actually, I'm going to step away from that. And I'm such a perfectionist that was the hardest thing, to look myself in the mirror and say, okay, after all this time, I'm going to walk away from this right now, and I'm going to be okay with it. And I think what you're talking about in that video was talking about reframing your mindset around failure, because for me, having to walk away from something or something not pan out the way I wanted it to, that triggers my, oh my gosh, I'm failing response. I failed. I didn't live up to what my dreams were. But I've really been working on trying to reframe my mindset and see it more as a pivot. And you got to close certain doors to open new ones.
How did you get to the point where you could reframe it? Because that's something that a lot of people will say. I think it's harder to do in some ways, especially when you're that far into it and you're achieving let's say a level of success. I don't know if you'd say it like this, but a level of success that a lot of people would be like, oh my God, she has, my dream job and now she's throwing it all away. So how do you quieten that voice in your head to go, you know what, I got to do what's right for me. So even if I have to tuck my tail between my legs, so to speak, this is the right thing for me.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was looking at what I wanted rather than what everybody else was telling me to do, because I did have that outward response of people saying, well, this was your dream job, or this is my dream job, or your job is so cool. Why would you give it up? But having to kind of tune that out and think, okay, how do I picture my life panning out? What do I want for my life? Does this fit into that bigger picture that I'm seeing for myself? And at the end of the day, it was a resounding no. It wasn't going to pan out the way that I wanted my life path to go. And I knew I was going to have to step away from that. So kind of taking the hit of, my parents being like, what are you doing? And other people being like, well, that's just such a cool job. How could you give that up? But I know at the end of the day, what it really looks like to be in news and what I want for my life. And those things just don't intersect.
So is it a question of now you have a plan and like you needed a plan in place before you moved on? Or did you go, you know what, this is not right. I'll figure it out. Let's move on right now.
Okay. So I've always been such a planner. I am like the most type A organized person ever. I mean, regardless, other than this room, this is like you've caught me at an odd time. But I'm such a planner and I always had everything planned out, right? I got the job that I wanted. I was in the career field that I wanted. Everything went planned out perfectly. Check, 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 right? And so for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm stepping away from that and sitting in the uncomfortability of the unknown. I am getting my real estate license, so I have that going for me, but I also have delved into the world of content creation. So I feel like I'm juggling a lot of different things at the same time, but there's not a clear path. And so also having to find being okay with not having a clear set path. Because, I've done that for so long, but you can't always plan things out. And then even if you do, they might not pan out. So here I am, I'm trying to just kind of like let it go, try out all of my choices and see where it leads me. And I feel like it's going really well so far.
Well, I'm glad to hear it's going well so far. What do you miss most about news? Not saying that you need to go back, but normally when someone really has a dream job, let's say news, maybe it's that you love being in front of the camera. Maybe it's that you love talking to people. What was the best part for you? And maybe what caused you to also, on the flip side, step away from it?
Yeah. I think what I'll miss most and what I still miss most, because I literally worked up until just last Thursday. So that was my very last day. So I'm like very fresh off of this. Honestly, I'll miss my coworkers. I had such an amazing team behind me. I was working at a top 30 market and I was working for one of the talk shows that is the best performing talk show in the United States. So that is not something I take lightly. And being able to work under people that had done it for so long and that were so respected in the community was so amazing. And then on top of that, I feel like what draws me most to news is the people. I'm obviously a talker. I always have been. I was raised in a really small town too. So getting out and getting into the community and just getting to connect with people, whether it's a restaurant owner or the dentist down the street or a banker or just, school kids or people in retirement homes. I was doing that every single day and getting to uphold the news channel and walk into a room and say, hey, I'm representing News Channel 5. Here I am. Let's connect. Let's have a conversation. And just the people that I met was amazing. And the experiences that I had, the things that they threw me into every single day is stuff that I will take with me forever.
How did your co-workers take it when you announced that you were leaving?
So a lot of them have been in the business much, much longer than I had. I was the youngest person in the entire news station to ever be hired in history, which was crazy. But it was such an honor to walk into that news station because, I don't know, this little tidbit fun fact, it's actually the news station that Oprah got her start at. So there is a lot of history. There's deep roots there. But they have all been so supportive. And I think when I voiced my concerns about, I don't know if this is fitting into the grand scheme of things anymore. I don't know if this is where I want to be geographically. I think I need to go back. Everybody was so supportive. And of course, they've been in the news business for so much longer. So they're like, hey, we're already in it. We can't just walk away, but you are still at the point where you can leave and start fresh.
So how on earth do pageants fit into it? It doesn't sound like you have an abundance of free time, although it probably appeals to your planning type A side. But how did pageants fit in?
Yeah, I mean, I've never been one to have a lot of free time. So having a busy schedule and running around like a chicken with my head cut off half the time is like where I thrive. If I could schedule my breaths in a day, I would. I live and die by my scheduling app. So pageants fit into that in a way of it gives me something to continuously do, I feel like. But I started in pageantry because I have a background of being on stage. I've sang and performed since I was 6 years old. So when I saw other girls competing for pageants, I was like, okay, well, I get up on stage all the time and like I'm super cool. So why don't I go do this? And I started late. I was 16 the first time I competed. And then I just, I got bit by the bug, so they say. And it's been an ongoing thing ever since.
What's your favorite part about competition? I mean, USA doesn't have a talent section, so you don't get to sing. So what's your favorite part?
I've never competed in a pageant that has talent, and that's okay. I'm fine. I feel like it challenges me to like hone in on my other skills. Like I have so many outlets to do my music, but pageants consistently challenge me to work on my speaking, work on my presentation, be able to have connections like this and just talk and get that repetition in. I think that's so helpful, and that's not something I do get out of music. So I'm fine with those worlds being apart. My favorite obviously is interview because I'm a talker. And if interview could be like 10, 15 minutes long, that would be how I could have it. Like that would be my sweet spot.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who, when people say, "Oh, it's a short interview, it's great," I'm like, "But I want to talk for longer." Like 10 minutes to me, I don't know for you, 10 minutes seems really short.
It is. I know that I think the America girls get the 10 minutes, but I'm like, if I had it my way, we'd sit down, we'd have like 15 minutes to chit chat back and forth, and then we'd be like, okay, bye, and then we'd see each other on stage. But the USA system, I think our interviews are 4 minutes this year. So I'm talking really long now, but that's such a hard thing to like condense it all.
I don't know how you do it unless you just speak at like 5 times normal speed like a chipmunk.
That's another thing. I have to stop myself from going a million miles an hour and just like talking, because then I'll get ahead of myself and I'll forget what I'm saying.
That is not look, nothing wrong with it. I think you should have a bit of fun. Tell me more about music. So we have on your bio American Idol. You said you've been performing since the age of 6. I'm someone who, I'm not going to say forced, but I started violin when I was the age of 2.
Okay.
I say forced because I didn't have choice. But music for me has always been like an integral part of my DNA. I mean, I was listening to music before we jumped on here. Tell me more about the musical side of yourself.
Yeah. I started performing and singing when I was 6 years old. That's when my dad gave me my first guitar. He's also super musically inclined, so I get that from him. And I was completely tone deaf, but I absolutely loved the feeling of being on stage and being able to look out and see my parents and see the people in the crowd and be like, okay, we're having a moment right now. Like I'm playing, you're listening to me, we're connecting in this way that you can't get from a conversation. That's what I think is so beautiful about music. And I just, I absolutely fell in love with doing that. So I kept doing it. I got better, thank goodness, with a lot of practice and a lot of falling down and getting back up. But my parents always helped me out through everything, and they were there through all of it. So yes, it did lead me to some amazing places. I got to open up for people like Lee Brice, Chase Rice, Colby Calais, a lot of like country artists. That's what was big in my hometown. So I got to share the stage with them, which was insane. And I did get to audition for American Idol, which sounds a lot flashier and a lot cooler than it was, because in reality, you're sitting in a Zoom room with one producer and you get like 30 seconds to make your little pitch, and then they're like, okay, go. And that's all you get. And then they're like, okay, thank you. And they log off. But I do like to say it because it was a very, very cool experience.
I don't know, that sounds kind of like pageants, but even more traumatizing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You said you were tone deaf. Are you sure you were tone deaf? Like, how do you know?
You know what? That's what my mom tells me, but she's also a really harsh critic. So I'm not sure. That's the story that she's been running with. So I'd have to call her up. I'm like, are you just being mean right now? Or do you actually mean that? But I think I was just so young. It's like at 6 years old, unless you're a prodigy, starting out, everything's going to be bad. So it does take a lot of time, a lot of practice, and just, the love of the game to keep going.
Tell me about the sort of music you like to perform.
I grew up on old country music. My dad always had old country music playing throughout the house all the time. So I was listening to like Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton. So all those people growing up, that is what I was always learning because my dad loved that. So he was always teaching me those songs. So I do still love like playing a lot of country music because I find it's easy to listen to, it's easy to play. And then I have like such an old soul. I love like a good Fleetwood Mac. Obviously, I love Dolly
Wow.
Parton.
Okay.
So I love all that kind of music. So I'll play basically anything, but I do tend to stray towards more of like the oldies when it comes to what I like to play.
I mean, you're a guitarist, so do you do any songwriting of your own?
I'll write once in a while, but I've never been able to kind of piece together the writing and then the actually putting it like to the guitar. I'm like, I can write, but the whole music theory thing, I'm just not, it doesn't come easily to me. I'd have to like pair up with somebody else.
And that worked for Elton John pretty well. Elton John wrote, I think he wrote all the lyrics or something. No, he might have done all the music and then he found someone else to write all the lyrics.
Yeah.
So it worked. It
See, I'm
worked
like,
for
I could do the writing, but it's like it's the meshing it all together that I can't figure out.
When you write, do you write like old, soulful, really depressing songs? Do you write upbeats? Or what are we writing about?
I guess I'm more of like like I love like a good poetry. Like my journal has seen it all. So I like obviously, and I went to school for journalism too. So like writing always just comes easy to me. It's something I do turn to whenever I'm like, I need to just get this out and I have nobody to talk to or I don't want to talk to somebody about something. I'm either writing or I'm sitting and I'm playing my guitar. But I will say I'm a sucker for a sad song. Like I love sad music. I love singing sad music. It like scratches this itch for me. I don't know why.
No, I think we all need an achy breaky heart kind of song every now and then. How did you get to be opening act? Because I don't want to dismiss this, because it's one thing to learn guitar or piano or anything, and you can do that in the comfort of your own home and you go, cool, I'm a musician. But to get to the point where you're opening for other acts, there's an element of you need to put yourself out there. Now, we've already talked about American Idol, but what was the process of putting yourself out there? Because it's like, all right, yes, it's some part of it's talent. You need to be able to do the music. But then a lot of it is you need to get in front of people. You need to deal with a lot of rejection. I mean, it's familiar territory to any pageant girl. But tell me about that side of things.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there were many times that I was told no, or like, hey, not this time, like we don't want you back. But it just came with doing a lot of auditions, and also I would play at a million different places growing up. So I was always at like a brewery or a coffee house or even like retirement homes. I was always playing somewhere almost every single week. So just putting myself in front of people and getting that visibility. And then I was able to make the connection to a local concert venue that would always hold like different country concerts. And so once they kind of had me in the back of their mind, they started being like, hey, we have this person coming. Will you send in a few things to audition? And we'll see if they like you and bring you on as their opening. And so once I kind of got one in, they were like, oh, we like her. And, she works well. She understands the venue. So I got to come back a few different times at that same venue, just with different artists. And I got to kind of, you like see them in passing. You're like, hi, I just got off stage. Good luck. And they're like, okay, random girl, like, so nice to see you. But it was so cool because, of course, you get the visibility of all these people that are there for the main act. And then you get to walk out there and be like, hey, guys, I'm a random high school girl, but I'm going to play these songs right now and you're going to listen to me.
Did it go smoothly for you? I'm only asking that because I remember going to a concert and they had an opening act and no one was there to watch the opening act. People don't buy the opening act. And they weren't very good, let's say. And the only applause they got was when they said, thanks, guys, this is our last song. And then everyone burst into applause. And
they're like, yeah, get off the stage.
Yeah.
It did go, from what I remember, like it went really well, but I also, sometimes you just kind of black out when you get up there. And I'm like, I'm not even looking at this point. I'm just trying to make sure I don't drop my pick and that I remember all of the lyrics and all of the chords right now. But it was such a blast, like to get up there. And I did have good turnout. Like a few of the times I do remember seeing a lot of people and I was like, oh, wow, like there's kind of a lot of people here right now. Okay, this is kind of cool. But, that's not to say that there weren't times that there was nobody in the crowd other than my parents. There's definitely, you have to play the gamut. You've got to do it all. And there are, of course, times when nobody's there to watch you, but it's not a big deal.
Can I dig for like the most embarrassing? What was your low point as a performer? Did we forget a lyric? Did we drop something?
I'm trying to think. There's been so many times that I have dropped my pick. I've dropped my pick 1,000,001 times. I get like sweaty fingers, I think, when I'm playing. So it's hard to hold on to that. I can't think of anything that I like absolutely forgot terribly, but I do remember when I was younger, I was in a band, like when I was like probably eight or nine. And I was really leaning into this whole band kind of vibe. I was like, what would like a band member look like, you know? So I went to the local like kids store, I don't know, and I made my mom buy clip-in rainbow bangs. And I had her do those, and then I had really, really thick black eyeliner, and then this like neon green top that I had like cut and fringed. And I was like, I have never looked cooler. This is the best I've ever looked. I'm like 8 years old. And I'm like, everyone's going to think that I'm like really, really a rock star now. So if I could pinpoint an embarrassing moment, I guess that would be it. Because I look back at the pictures and I laugh so hard. But I was feeling myself in the moment.
Is that outfit making a reappearance at Miss Arizona USA?
I really hope not. I don't think rainbow bangs are in style right now.
I kind of feel like saying picture or it didn't happen. But can I ask, as a musician yourself, being in, I don't want to make you regret your life choices at all, but being in Nashville must have been some extra level of cool, because even when I was there and you'd go to the local bars, you'd see these people performing in a bar and it wasn't just anyone. Like these people were really, really good. You must have enjoyed that part of it.
Oh my gosh. It was so cool because it doesn't matter where you go. I mean, you even go into the airport, and you said you've been there. You go to the airport and there's people playing in the airport, and like it's everywhere. Everybody's in music. So that did reignite me wanting to be part of music again, because I had taken just kind of a backseat with graduation and moving places. And I was like, okay, I don't have time for this right now. And I was like, okay, well, I want to get involved, but being involved in Nashville is crazy because you have to really, you know, that's like a career type move. I was like, how can I be involved in music, but not necessarily be up on these stages? And that's where I found Musicians on Call, which is a nonprofit organization that's allowed me to become a registered musician, to walk into, you know, nursing homes, hospital rooms, and play for the patients there. So that was kind of me like reigniting my love for music in a different way.
Tell me more about Musicians on Call, because I was going to ask. So you go into these places and you play, and I imagine it's your chance to help them feel good or to reconnect with them, or maybe if it's an old person's home, maybe feel a little bit less lonely.
Yeah. So I was involved at Vanderbilt Children's in Nashville. So one of the first times I ever walked in, I actually played for the psychiatric unit, the adolescent psychiatric unit. And so I sat in their like community room. So it's just 20 kids and me. And I just played them what I had. I was like, hey, I hope you guys like, you know, Dolly Parton and Fleetwood Mac, because that's what I've got for you. But it was a really humbling experience, because you can only imagine what these kids are there for or what they've been through. So to walk into a room and provide even just 30 minutes of a positive distraction, or a time where everybody can just sit down and like sing together, or just even tune out from what's going on around them, I think is really important, especially in those spaces. Just, you know, provide that little, even if it's just 5 minutes of a song, it's something to take their mind off of what's going on.
What was that like, walking, I think you said, into the adolescent with a crowd of adolescents? That must have been quite jarring in a way, because you wouldn't have been much older than they were.
Yeah, it was definitely hard, because I looked around the room and I'm one of 4 children. I'm the second oldest. So I have a sister who's 20 and I have a younger brother who's 18. So walking into that room and looking around and being like, okay, these kids could be like my brother and sister's friends. Yeah. Like it felt familiar in a way of like, hey, you could have been my little brother's friend, or you could have been my sister's friend. It's definitely uncomfortable, and you have to think really hard. You have to kind of take your mind off of it, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about how I'm feeling about the situation. Yeah. You're the one in the situation. I'm trying to be here helping you. So just, you know, being positive throughout everything, and not ruminating on what's going on too much. But it is really humbling to be like, okay, they chose me to come in here and hang out with you guys. So obviously they trust me enough to be here in this situation, even though it might be uncomfortable.
Can you tell me more about when you began to play? What was their reaction like? Because I titled this interview before we did like "Music's Power to Heal" or something like that. Yeah, and I really do believe in that. People say that about art, but I'm not an artist in terms of I can't paint to save my life. But I love music, and so I can understand how powerful and impactful music can be
Yeah.
What was it like when you go into a place like that, surrounded by people who are not much younger than you, and you begin to play? What did you see?
Yeah, there was like moments when I was also talking to them too, because I just wanted them to see like, hey, I'm just, I'm a regular person. Like, again, we're not that much, different in age.
Yeah.
Like, we have the same experiences, we have the same interests, maybe. So, just trying to humanize myself and make them feel comfortable, because I think, especially in those spaces too, they have a tendency to be like, ooh, who's this person, or who is this authority that's walking in, and immediately kind of
Yeah.
shut down, and not welcome you. But they were all so welcoming. They were just excited, I think, to have somebody there with them. And when I started playing the first song, everybody was kind of like bopping around. They were like, wait, that was really good. After I got that first song done, they were like, oh, okay, we like this girl now. Like, she's not
Okay.
typical. And then after that, we got to talking. They would give me requests. I'd see if I could play them. I got them to sing along with me a handful of times, which is really fun because it's a lot easier to sing when you're not the only one. But it was really good. And then when the time was up, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be here for, again, I'm such a talker. I love sitting around. So I'm like, I wish I could be here for a whole nother hour.
What's the story, if you know it, behind musicians on call?
I don't know, but I do know that they have tons of partnerships. So there's volunteers like me, and then
Yeah.
there's people who aren't musically inclined who are guides. So they come and pair up with a volunteer musician, and then they kind of guide you around the hospital, lead you through everything, just oversee it all. But I know that they do partner with actual real life musicians. Like Noah Khan is part of Musicians on
Wow.
Call.
Okay.
They just had a huge thing out in Nashville. Nashville's where their headquarters is, of course, with Reba McEntire, all of these amazing like country artists. So there are a lot of celebrities who are involved as well. So it does reach a lot further than just the volunteers.
Is this work you're able to continue now that you're back in Arizona?
Yeah, so I'm actually transferring to Phoenix Children's out here, so I'll be able to play with them. And then they also have a partnership with the Veterans Association out here, so I'll kind of go between both of them. I'm in talks right now with the Phoenix Bureau, so I'm just like getting everything set. I'm like, hey, let me come. I have my guitar now. Like, I'm ready to jump into it. But I was glad that I got my feet wet in Nashville, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I get to bring it out here.
When are you competing for the pageant? Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah, oh my gosh, don't remind me.
Sorry.
It's like, oh my gosh, I need to think. Yeah, a little over 2 weeks now because it's June 11th. So we're coming towards it. But again, my schedule's been so crazy. I'm like, I don't know what day of the week it is anymore. I'm just like, go, go, go.
What's life like for yourself at the moment? So you're 2 weeks out from the pageant. If things go your way, then you're going to the 75th in Miami. You've just moved. You're switching jobs. You're having a period of transition. What's happening at the moment?
Oh my gosh. I feel like everything and nothing all at the same time because I've been working towards this for so long. I've been looking forward to moving. I've been looking forward to finishing my real estate license. I've been looking forward to Miss Arizona USA. So I've been preparing. So I'm at this point in my, I guess, preparation journey, if you want to call it that, where I'm ready to just press play. That's what I like to say. It's like I've done all the work. I've put in the hours of, studying, interviewing, walking, doing all of the things you have to do. So I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, all I have to do is press play. Like, I did the work. I did everything I needed to do. I'm going to just bring everything that I have to the table. So I'm trying to just like sit back, get through this move, unpack, organize myself, and just stay really excited. And the Arizona directors have been amazing. They have like a million things for us to go to. So this next 2 week period is going to be packed. I think we have events like every 2-ish days. So
Wow.
we'll be busy, yeah.
You said that you started in pageants at 16, which you said is late. I mean, compared to over here in Australia, that's still exceedingly early. But I mean, it's not like you had nothing else going on in your life. So I ask, like, how have pageants changed you or impacted you in terms of who you are, with the understanding that you've done a lot of other things as well? But how has pageantry impacted you?
I feel like more than anything, it has given me the confidence to know that no matter where I go, no matter what room I walk into, if I have gone on stage in a gown and a bikini, if I've walked in front of a panel of judges many, many times now, and asked to be judged willingly, I can take on anything. That mindset, I really do credit that same mindset with giving me the ability to, interview for the jobs that I have gotten. It's what I think secured me a job in a top 30 market right out of college, which was really unheard of. And it's because of the skills and the confidence that I have gained from pageantry. I've done the USA system. I've also done the High School America system a handful of times. So I was like, you know what, if I can get up on stage, ask to willingly be judged over and over again, and, you know, present myself and be really firm in who I am and what I bring to the table, regardless of what's going on around me, I can tackle absolutely anything.
I have a comment to bring up here, which I'll get your thoughts on in a second. But can I ask you, how much do you agree or disagree with the statement, delusion is a solution? I feel like I just need to ask you this.
Oh, wait, can I show you something? Hold on. Let me get my vision board because you're going to love this.
I thought we're going to see the messy suitcase again.
No, I'll bring it over here. So, okay. Center of my vision board is this quote right here. And it says, the body achieves what the mind believes. And I think that feeds into the delusion is a solution, because I've always been a firm believer that if your brain is in the right place and you can visualize your goal so clearly, it makes it so much easier to actually achieve something. It makes it like less scary, right? To be able to like picture yourself exactly where you want to be. It makes it more real, and you're like, oh, that's not scary. If you do it every day and you visualize something every day and you believe it every single day, taking those steps is so much easier. And then seeing it come to fruition, you're like, oh yeah, I already saw this happening.
How long did that vision board take to put together?
I'll hold it up.
OMG, what? How long did it take? You should do this as a profession. Forget real estate. You should get paid to put people's vision boards together.
I do. I'm a very crafty person. That is something I get from my mom. I love a good craft. So every year around January time, I do make a new vision board. I have all of my other ones as well. I keep them so then I can look back and say, okay, check, did that, did that, did that. Or things do carry on when they don't come true, which is totally fine. That's part of having a vision board. But I'll sit, and this is a little like nighttime activity for me. I'll do this for like a week, and I'll just cut things out, paste things, quotes. There's like little stickers on here and stuff. So I love a good vision board.
I've never seen a vision board that detailed. So props to you.
Well, thank you.
I feel like I need to outsource because I'm not crafty. So if I need a vision board together, I can't do it like that. Now, let me just bring you up to date with
scrapbooking. All that stuff is so up my alley. So this is fun stuff for me.
I have no chance. Now, Rhonda over on Instagram, Rhonda Chalev. I'm not sure if it's Rhonda Chalev. Hi, Kaitlyn. Looking gorge. And this comment on Facebook is from Morgan. I don't know, Morgan, why are you watching on Facebook? Like, why? Only old, boring people go on Facebook.
What's going on, girl?
I have unless this is a different Morgan, but I somehow doubt that. Like, watch it somewhere else. How did you bump into this crazy lady?
With Morgan?
Yeah.
Oh, we started working together, I think, last year because I was prepping for Arizona USA. And that was my first Miss pageant ever. I'd only ever done teen. And then I went to Pageant America, which you do like fun fashion. You don't do like a fitness wear or anything. So I was like, I need to get my body in check. And Morgan was like, she worked with all of the girls that I idolized. And I was like, that is what I want to like. So then I reached out to her, and we've been stuck. I think it's been like a year and a half now, I want to say.
Oh, it's your anniversary, is it? Oh, is it past your 1 year anniversary? What was it like transitioning from teen to Miss? I know for some people it's a bit of a struggle, but for a lot of other people, they feel like when they go to Miss, it's like where they belonged all the time.
When I was a teen, so I competed in Colorado as a teen for 3 years, and I was top 15, third runner-up, and then second runner-up. So when I finished out being a teen, I thought the road was done for me there. I was like, I could never go to Miss USA. Like, that's just I'm not going to be able to do that for whatever reason. I think it's just like teenage insecurity. And then I actually worked at a gown store in Arizona for many years. And so seeing all the girls come in, being pageant girls, I was like, man, I really miss competing. So I got talked into doing the Collegiate America system, which I felt like was a really good bridge for me to go from teen to Miss. It gave me like that buffer of, I wasn't competing as a team, but I wasn't being thrown into the Miss category quite yet. So I do credit those 2 years of doing Miss Collegiate America for giving me kind of the wherewithal and the confidence to be like, okay, I think I'm ready to be a Miss now.
I need to show you these because otherwise Morgan will kill me. So we asked why Morgan is on Facebook. She said, because you'll show my comments. Morgan literally wants me to show you her comments, and then she's written this. Would you like to respond?
My queen. Morgan, I love you. I'm going to get my 10K steps in after this. Don't you worry, girl.
Would you like to tell the audience what Morgan was saying that you should do more of?
Oh, drink what, Morgan? He was making fun of me because I was drinking my Coke Zero before we got on the live. And I was like, yeah, Morgan already told me I need to drink more water, but I think this counts.
Morgan, I do have
my water. I do have my water, okay?
We haven't seen any proof, Morgan, that there is actually water in there. I believe that there's probably just more Coke Zero in there. Oh, here we go.
There's water in there.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. So Morgan, she's hydrating as we speak. If everything goes your way and you're in Miami, what would you be most excited about to be on the Miss US stage for?
Well, first of all, I love the gold sashes. Let's talk about those because I think those are so fabulous. But I think more than anything, I guess where my mindset is at right now is I have wanted to be a state title holder for so many years. So I see it more as I want to be Miss Arizona USA first. Of course, I want to go to Miss USA. I think it's amazing. I went last year and I watched in the crowd. So seeing it in real time and like seeing that happen after all the years of watching it online was really, really cool. So being a part of that, being a part of the 75th year, I think would be obviously a huge honor. But I think where my mind is at right now is I'm like, I want to be Miss Arizona USA first, though. Like, I have so many plans throughout the year. I have events I want to attend. I have goals I want to achieve. I have so many things that I want to bring to the organization at the state level first before even thinking about going to Miss USA. Arizona is lucky enough to have a state director. We have a state pageant. So I do think that it is, as a state title holder, my responsibility to bring as much as I can to that state title.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything sadder than someone wins a state title, then they go to Miss USA, then they come back and they don't do anything with it. It just seems like a waste. I'm not hugely familiar with Arizona as a state. I mean, I haven't spent any time there. What are some of the plans you have if you were to be crowned Miss Arizona USA? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you got plans. What are some of them?
Yeah, obviously I want to keep doing musicians on call. That's a huge part of what I've been doing for the past few months. And so I want to keep doing that. Obviously representing the Arizona USA title while walking into those hospital rooms, I think would be a dream. I also have on my vision board, again, I have points of me singing. I want people to see like Miss Arizona USA and be like, oh my gosh, she like sings. She's out here doing the national anthem at the Cardinals game. Obviously Arizona State's my alma mater, so going back to a football game and singing the national anthem with the sash across my chest, I think would be really cool. I want to keep doing that, but I also do have a social media presence that I want to keep building and show people more about what it means to be a title holder in the modern day age. I think that pageantry is something that's like so far off to so many people unless you're invested in it. So bridging those two things and kind of bringing pageantry to my own platform that I already do have, I think is going to be a huge part of my year.
Talk to me about where you've seen the evolution of pageants, because you said you joined when you were 16. So even in those few years, pageantry has changed quite a lot. Now, specifically the USA system obviously has changed and is going to continue changing. Yeah. The story that I connected with you over already, that's kind of unusual sometimes for pageant girls to post something up like that, because you're talking about this idea of failure. And for a lot of pageant girls, like, oh, I can't talk about that because that means I'm not perfect. So where do you see yourself going in terms of your social media? What are some of the things that you'd like to discuss or bring to the table that maybe we haven't seen in pageantry before?
I think the best thing that we can do is just be real. The best, like the biggest thing that I've taken away from competing in pageants is every time I go, I build these girls up in my brain to be these amazing, otherworldly creatures that are so untouchable and so perfect. And then I go meet them and I'm like, hey, we're all the same. Like, we're all just people. Mm-hmm. So bringing that realness and that rawness. And I think that's what made Audrey stand out a lot. And I think that's why people resonate with her a lot, is because they're like, oh, she's just, she's just a girl. She's just like me. So keep keep bringing like that realness, that rawness, that authenticity, and showing people that like, hey, we have other things going on in our lives other than just pageants. We're not these like prim, proper, perfect girls. That's the same kind of mindset I do bring to my social media too, because as much as I love like a perfect vlog or a makeup tutorial, I keep my bloopers in sometimes. I have those talks with my Girl with Goals series where I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
this is how I'm feeling today. Like, does anybody else feel this way? Because I do get those comments a lot of people being like, your life seems so perfect. I could never do that. So I do like to kind of peel back the layers and show people like, hey, there are so many different parts of me that you're only scratching the surface. So keep on, just keep on bringing that realness.
Tell people more about your Girls with Goals series, because I think the video I saw was part of that series. So what influenced you? What caused you to start that particular series in the first place?
I think comments that I had gotten, actually, I got comments again of people just being like, your life is just so perfect. How do I be like this? I wish my life was your life. And just, I think it's really easy, especially on social media, to look at other people and be like, wow, they have it all figured out. Which obviously, I don't, if my background is not proof that nothing is as it seems, then I don't know what is, because it seems prim and proper here. I have piles of, stuff over here. I've got my clothes thrown everywhere. I've got makeup all over the floor. Like, that is the reality of things. So I wanted, again, to just peel back the layers and show people like, hey, I've got a lot more to me than just these cute little makeup tutorials or daily vlogs that you guys all like. And just having those honest conversations, I think, opens up, it makes people feel like they know you a little bit better, and they can kind of watch your stuff and be like, oh, but she's just a person. And I get to talk about my vision board, obviously. So that's something I could talk about forever.
Well, I mean, it's what made me watch your content was it was a pageant girl
I'm so
who was.
glad you saw that. That was so cool.
I want you to pretend that you're talking to your 16-year-old self.
Oh my gosh.
So the one who had just entered her first pageant, because you're saying that people look at your stuff and go, "Oh, you're so put together. Your life is so perfect." Sometimes when people say that to me, I get a bit angry about it because, like, well, you don't understand how much work went into this, and just because you didn't see it didn't mean it didn't happen. Like, it wasn't just thrown on me, by the Lord above, hallelujah, sort of thing. But if you had to talk to your 16-year-old self specifically, what would that discussion look like?
I think I would tell her that nobody decides what is attainable for you except for you. Especially with social media, I think, again, it comes to that same thing. If we look at other people and we're like, wow, like, that could never be me, though. And over the years, I've had to prove to myself, like, every time I set my mind to something, every time I take a bet on myself, I win. Every single time, whether it's I win by actually achieving the thing that I want, or I win by having the life experience, because that's a win too. Just saying, hey, I did that, I tried, maybe I fell down, but I still tried. And I think more people need to bet on themselves and realize that if you want something, you can make it happen, or at least you can try, because it's better to say that you tried than not at all. And that's also, again, why I started that Girl with Goals series, because I wanted to show people like, hey, I do put in so much work. This is the things I'm doing today, or these are the things that I deal with on a daily basis, but I work through them to get to those big goals that I do have, because it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's not going to go perfectly every single time. So I think if people see kind of that honest side of it, that it's not just cut and dry, it's not easy peasy, there is a lot of work that goes into it, but if you have the foundation of self-belief, if you take the steps every single day towards a goal, you can make that happen. Absolutely.
Were you always this driven? That's my question.
I think I was driven in other ways. Like, I was always a high achiever through high school. I was student council president. Like, I always wanted to be doing something. So I think that just runs in my blood. Like, I love being very busy. I love being an organizer. I feel like I'm a natural leader. So being up in front of people comes really easily to me. And I've definitely kept that same vibe, like, throughout my whole life. I just see it kind of manifesting in different ways as I've gotten older.
What do you do? I know you don't have any free time, but let's play hypotheticals. If you did, right? What would you do with yourself to relax?
To relax, I do love a good walk. I'm a big walker, but I'm going to the richest neighborhood. Like, I'm going to get on Zillow, right? I'm going to find all of the most expensive houses. I'm filtering price high to low, and I'm going to go to those neighborhoods and I'm going to walk around. I like Zillowing the houses as I walk so I can see the insides. That's a big way that I like to relieve stress and just get grounded because I am on my phone so much being a content creator. I'm like, I need to like open my eyes. I need to see the sky, breathe air, touch grass sometimes. So if I'm not doing that, or playing guitar is my other thing. I'm always playing guitar, no matter how I'm feeling, whether I'm sad, happy, angry, mad, or I just need to like blow off some steam. I will sit and I will play guitar or read tabs for like hours on end and just lose myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Paint me a picture for where you think you're going to end up in 2026. I ask this because you have such big goals, and you're in a moment of transition, and it seems like you're searching for maybe your next big thing. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but where do you think you're going to end up at the end of this year?
Yeah, I do plan to finish my real estate license. So once that's done, I'll hopefully start interviewing for firms and then get involved in that way, and then start a new career, which is so crazy to say, but such is life. We got to pivot, we got to change. So I do hope to be doing real estate coming up here, but I do love the content creation that I am doing, and I love the community that I have built. So I want to keep that up. I want to scale it. I want to grow it, whether that means I'm doing that as Miss Arizona USA or just as myself. That is something I still plan to do throughout the year.
Right. Now, do you know if tickets to Miss Arizona USA are available for people who are watching this and might want to come and watch you?
Yes, so they are available. We have a fashion show the first night, which will be really fun. It's not judged, but it's just to like get people kind of seeing us. Obviously, prelims is on Friday, finals is on Saturday, and they actually just dropped People's Choice pictures today. So you can go see all of the contestants, vote for your favorite ones. So you can go stalk the Miss Arizona USA Instagram.
How long did it take you to select that photograph as your headshot?
Well, so do you know Mike with S92 Photography?
I've seen the handle, yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing. So he came out and he did our headshots last year, and he chose them himself, like the winning headshot. He chose whatever he thought was going to do best. With this year, we were tasked with choosing our own. I think I narrowed it down to 30, and then I narrowed it down to 10. I know, it's terrible. Then I narrowed it down to 10, and then I sent those 10 to like my trusted people. I was like to my coach, my mom, or whatever, and then kind of took in all that information. But I'm pretty decisive. Like there was definitely, I knew which ones I would probably like. Like I definitely have my favorite angles and poses. So I kind of figured I had an idea that I would like certain ones, and sure enough, I liked that pose that I did. Yeah.
You said you narrowed it down to 30. Before the narrowing process, how many were there?
I want to say he sent over probably 100 or a little more than 100. But he did all of us. He did all of the Arizona USA girls. So he had his work cut out for him for sure.
Yeah, this is just one of those things when you're not in pageantry, you don't understand the statistics. Sounds ridiculous. Because you take photos with pageant girls, and then you learn, they have a favorite side, they have a favorite pose, and then you want
champagne problems over here. It's so terrible.
Do you like your left or your right?
I like this side of me, so I'm like, this is my left side. I don't know if it's mirrored on your end.
This is something I have to ask whenever anyone wants a photo. It's like, which side do you want? Because I don't care which side, but you guys all have your favorite side, and I learned that the hard way.
Everyone's going to be turned to one side in every picture.
Yeah, I know. All right, before we go to the final 10, because we've been on a minute, is there anyone else you would like to, or anyone you'd like to give a shout out to for supporting you along your journey?
There's been a lot of supporters. I've had a coach. Well, she started as a coach. Her name is Chloe Brown. She was a former Miss Colorado USA. And she and I got connected when I competed in Colorado. And to this day, we are like attached at the hip. She's like a big sister to me. So I don't know if she's watching, but I'll have to tell her that I shouted her out because she has been a driving force of me wanting to go to Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and just kind of follow in her footsteps. And she has been there for every call, every single question, every single meltdown. No matter what, she's stuck with me through all the years.
You sound like a very level-headed person. So it's kind of reassuring to know that there might have been one or two meltdowns at some point.
Absolutely. Well, again, I think it's because I'm such an organizer. Like I said, I'm like, I love everything to go to plan. So keeping my cool when things are falling apart has been a learned process. I've gotten a lot better at it now. And I think news did a good job of teaching me how to cool under some crazy situations, and at the drop of a hat when things are changing constantly around me. But I won't lie, there's definitely times when I was younger when something didn't go my way, or my dress didn't look the way I wanted it to, or I brought the wrong earrings and I was like, this is the end of the world. But I'm not like that anymore.
That's a good thing. That's what we call a maturing process, right?
Yes, thank goodness for the frontal lobe development, right?
Now, Michaela Dunlon, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, says, Kaitlyn, you are so genuine and beautiful and iconic. I'm rooting for you big time. You're iconic. That's high praise.
I'll add that to my vision board. Thanks, Michaela. She's a teen. She's competing in the Carolinas.
Right. Okay. So Michaela, not Mika. Sorry, I'm butchering the pronunciations. All right. Let's go through the random 10 questions and we'll see how good you are on your toes. So number one, what's your favorite word?
Right now, my favorite word I think would be maybe vibe. I catch myself saying vibe a lot all the time. It's coming out all the time. But I'm like, is vibe still a cool word for everybody? Is that still a word that we're using? Oh,
it's not because I can officially confirm this for you because I have started using it. If I am using it, I can tell you definitively it is no longer cool.
Okay,
all right.
I'm taking suggestions for different words other than vibe because it's bad. It comes out of my mouth way too much.
Yeah. Vibe is not cool anymore. Slay is not cool.
Right.
And God forbid anyone do 6'7", I'm going to punch them in the face. I'm so sick of the whole 6'7" thing. All right. So suggestion second. Number two, what is your least favorite word?
I hate the word limited. Like a limited belief, limited self-belief. Just people limiting themselves, I think, is a big pet peeve of mine. Because I've broken through that same mindset and I know where it can lead me and I know where it can lead other people if they stop limiting themselves. So I don't like the word limited. Unlimited. Let's be unlimited.
That could be your new favorite word. Number three, in life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
Music, obviously. New music, especially too. Like Noah Kahan dropped his new album. I was listening to that. Olivia Rodrigo just dropped a new song that's been like on repeat in my ears as I've been unpacking slowly. So new music, especially, or just like my old go-to songs that I play over and over again.
Is there any type of music that you absolutely would not listen to?
I kind of listen to everything, honestly. And I know people say that, but I really mean it. Like if you could see my playlist, there's like Dolly Parton and Fleetwood Mac. Okay. Then we have like Olivia Rodrigo and Noah Kahan. And then sometimes I'll listen to like Pierce the Veil, Paramore. Like I kind of listen to everything. The only thing that I don't really listen to is rap because I like to sing along to stuff. And obviously rap, you can't be singing along to it. Yeah.
But be honest with us. So have you ever secretly rapped when you're by yourself?
Oh, of course. Especially in my pageant playlist, I have like some Nicki Minaj songs, and like I'll really get into it sometimes, like in private. So I've definitely rapped before.
The number of you girls who behind the scenes, you know all the words to a rap song. I had this really good friend, and she ended up rapping to me over a call. I'm like, what is going on here? I don't recognize a person on the other because she's like you. She's blonde and she's white, and I'm like, what's going on here?
The song I listened to before walking into my interview last year was Swag Surfing, which I don't know if you know that song, but if anybody is watching and knows what Swag Surfing is, that was my interview song. And so that was like playing in my ears, and I popped those AirPods out and I walked right into my interview room.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's what turns you on with music. Well, question 4 is what turns you off?
I think disorganization or lateness is a huge pet peeve of mine, which again, you've caught me at such an unbelievable time. I'm being a hypocrite right now, but I am a really organized person. I do like being on time. I'm such a scheduler. I live and die by my scheduling app. So people who are disorganized or late consistently grinds my gears.
How long is it going to take for you to organize yourself?
I'll get it done tonight. I'm crazy. And I'm a night owl too. So I'm like, now that I have all my hangers, they're waiting for me downstairs. Like I will get this done in a few hours tonight. Okay.
I look forward to seeing the results. Question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of finger picking specifically on guitar. Like some of my favorite songs are finger picked, which I don't know if you like know what that means, I guess. But instead of strumming,
I think I know the sound.
Like Blackbird by the Beatles, right?
Yeah.
Has that cute little like guitar riff. Like I love a good finger picking song. I love a good guitar riff.
Can you have long nails as a guitarist?
So this is I don't have nail polish on, but my nails are pretty short right now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I have to keep them really short, otherwise I can't play.
Yeah, I was going to say. All right. What sound or noise do you hate?
Snoring. Oh my gosh. I'm a really light sleeper. So if anybody snores, like I remember growing up and my dad, like if we were on vacation, we'd be sharing a hotel room. My dad would snore. I was literally, or I shared a room with my little sister for the longest time, and she's a really bad snorer. There was times where I was like, should I just like take a pillow and like hit her with it to like knock her out of it? It drives me nuts. I can't do it.
I don't know if you wanted to out your little sister like that.
Hey, you know what? I would, and she would say the same thing about me. I'm sure she's been out here, sister things. She would say the same things about me.
Okay. All right. Nothing like sisterly love. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
I would fly or teleport, I think, because I want to travel everywhere, but gas is really expensive right now and plane tickets are really expensive. So if I could just like snap my fingers and fly away or teleport somewhere, that would help my bank account a little bit.
Yeah, you and me both. What's the longest flight you've ever been on?
I think to Hawaii, so only 8 hours. I've never really been abroad, which is sad. I really want to go. Like if I have time, a Euro summer or like Australian summer, I need to go do that.
I was going to say, because you guys complain about a long flight. Then I ask how long is long, and you say 4 hours. And I'm like, it's going to take me basically 24 hours to get from Sydney to Miami.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And with the state of American Airlines at the moment, it'd probably take longer anyway.
It's a headache.
It's bad. Let's not go through that. Number 8, if you could have any job other than your own, you could try any job other than your own, what would you most like to attempt?
Every time growing up when I was younger and people asked me what I wanted to be when I was older, I would say I want to be a pop star. So I think that still rings true. Like if I could just snap my fingers and be anywhere, I would love to be on stage. I want like the 90s, like Britney Spears headset, right? And I want to be playing to a huge crowd. Yeah.
Right. What job would you definitely not like to attempt?
I really do not like hiking. I'm a really bad hiker. So somebody who's like a national like forest person or like what is the word I'm looking for? Like I
don't know, because I don't know how you can be bad at hiking. It's just walking.
Oh, see, I'll walk flat, right? I love walking flat in a neighborhood, but hiking, I don't know. I can't do it. So somebody who's like working in a national park, I'm just not sure if that would be for me, especially with the bugs and then like bears and stuff. I'm really good. I'm okay.
Okay, so hang on. Is your problem with hiking up and down inclines or with getting eaten by bears? Because those are two very different things.
There's a mix of both. I think it's like a fear of what is out there and what's going to eat me. And then also I'm so miserable, like climbing up. I'm like, I can't do this anymore and I might die.
I should send you, I have a little clip I took of me drinking a cup of coffee, and I found a spider inside it after I had drunk it.
No.
And I like to post that once a year to freak everyone out. And every time I post it, at least one person sends me a comment that is not very, let's say, not very loving.
That would be my last day on Earth, actually.
How do you think I felt when I saw the spider at the end of it?
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Final question. Okay. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You did it. I think to just get to the end of everything and then, just be assured that like you've done it all. Now you can rest. Like all of your work is done. Everything is over. You've done it.
Well, Kaitlyn, it's been a blast. I mean, for people who want to follow along with your journey, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, you can follow me at my Instagram. It's at Kaitlyn.Humphrey. My TikTok is Kaitlyn R. Humphrey. So you can see me on both of those. I do post daily on my TikTok, and I do post pretty frequently on my Instagram as well whenever I can. So follow me there. Watch me. I'm competing in 2 weeks, so you can watch online as well. And then again, those People's Choice voting pictures just got dropped today. So if you want to vote for me for People's Choice, I would absolutely love that.
Perfect. All right, Kaitlyn. Well, I'm going to keep you on the line for just a second whilst I hang up with the audience. But thanks to everyone for watching, and we will speak here next time. Bye for now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you're a competitive pageant girl and you're after some high-performance pageant coaching, make sure to come and check us out at thepageantproject.com, where you can start your journey for free. In the meantime, follow us on all our socials at The Pageant Project. Speak to you next time.